In 10 seconds, I'll let go of this ladder and step into one of the most violent underwater environments on Earth.
This is what waits below.
I can't see anything! I can't!
This is the surge zone beneath the world's most dangerous and isolated lighthouse.
This is Þrídrangaviti, stranded in the freezing waters of Iceland, miles away from the coast. It is known as the most dangerous and isolated lighthouse on Earth. Built on a sheer sea stack, no roads, no docks, and most days, even helicopters can't land. Just the unforgiving North Atlantic crashing against it.
People have braved the climb to explore the structure above, long before and long after the lighthouse was built.
The tools that built it still remain. This wrench was last used in 1939, hauling materials up the cliff face to build this lighthouse. Every season, seabirds return to nest on these rocks, raising their young in one of Earth's most exposed places. But almost no one has dared to see what lives below. So today, we're not here for the view from the top. We're diving in to discover and show you what exactly lies beneath one of the world's loneliest and most dangerous rocks on Earth.
And I'm about to find out why almost no one has survived diving here.
But before we look below, you have to understand the madness of what stands above. In 1939, there were no helicopters, no safety nets, just young Westman Islanders, desperate for work and lacking fear. They didn't build this place with machines. They built it with bare hands. They formed a human ladder against the wet, slick rock, one man climbing on the shoulders of another, clinging to the cliff face while the ocean tried to swallow them whole. They say when they finally reached the summit, 120 feet up, they found old iron spikes driven into the stone, proof that someone, centuries ago, had been crazy enough to climb it before them. The danger above is well known and clearly understood. What lives below the surface remains largely unseen.
When conditions allow it, there's only a short window to work. The water is near freezing, the swell is unpredictable, and once you enter, there's no easy way back.
My dive computer shows 3 degrees Celsius. In water this cold, I have maybe 25 minutes before hypothermia becomes a serious risk.
This isn't a dive you rush. Here, every move is planned. Every second matters, because mistakes here don't give second chances.
The moment you hit the water, the noise of the wind vanishes, replaced by the deep, rhythmic boom of the ocean crashing against the basalt. In the first 10 meters, it's chaos. This is the surge zone. Here, you don't swim, you survive. The ocean heaves you back and forth against the rock face. You have to fight for stability, fighting just to see through the bubbles in the sediment. It feels like being inside a washing machine filled with ice. The swell grabs you, dragging you up 3 meters, then slamming you down 5. Your regulator hisses violently as you struggle to control your breath. This is the Atlantic's gatekeeper. It wants you tired. It wants you to turn back. But if you push through the turbulence, if you kick down past the white water, the violence begins to fade. Look closer at the chaos. This isn't barren rock, it's a forest. Massive stalks of laminaria kelp cling to the sheer walls. They are the first line of defense, absorbing the ocean's fury. These plants are the unsung heroes of the Atlantic. They thrive in this violence, whipping back and forth, creating a shelter for life in a place that should be uninhabitable. In the summer months, these fronds can grow centimeters a day, fueled by the 24-hour sunlight penetrating the cold water. But down here, the light is already fading. We descend deeper, to 20 meters. The surge is gone now, replaced by a heavy, silent pressure.
As we descend, the water absorbs the light spectrum. Red disappears first, then orange.
The colors of the surface world are stripped away one by one, leaving us in a world of blues, greens, and grays. At first glance, it looks empty, just dark, cold stone. But let your eyes adjust. See that? Urtina anemones, painted in reds and oranges, blooming like flowers in the freezing dark. They are ancient, simple, and deadly patient. Their tentacles are loaded with neurotoxins, waiting for a careless shrimp or a small fry to drift too close. In this desert, a meal might only come once a month. And here, dead man's fingers, soft corals that add less than an inch of growth over many years. In water this cold, metabolism slows to a crawl. Nothing is wasted. Every calorie is hoarded. This isn't a place of abundance, it's a place of extreme efficiency. We aren't alone. Out of the gloom, shadows materialize. Schools of saithe and Atlantic cod patrol these walls. They are massive here. Ancient fish that have never seen a fishing net.
They don't dart around like tropical fish. They hover, almost motionless, using the rock to shield themselves from the current. They are the masters of this domain. They look at us not with fear, but with curiosity. What are these clumsy, bubbling creatures doing in their world? For a moment, you lock eyes with a creature that has lived in this darkness for decades. It knows every crevice, every current shift. You are merely a tourist passing through its living room.
Wait, look here. There's metal embedded in this rock.
At 28 meters, an iron chain, rusted, ancient, completely overgrown. This shouldn't be here. The lighthouse was built in 1939, but this looks centuries old. Someone was down here long before the builders, long before modern diving equipment existed. The question is, how? And why? This sea stack is more than just a foundation for a lighthouse. It is an oasis in a desert. The open ocean offers no shelter, but this rock provides a break in the current, a place to rest, a place to feed. Above the surface, humans built a structure to warn ships away, but below, nature uses the rock to bring life together. But our time here is borrowed.
I can't feel my fingers anymore. I've been down here 12 minutes.
As the minutes tick by, the cold begins to win. Even in a dry suit, the North Atlantic finds a way in. It starts in the fingertips, a dull ache that turns into numbness. Your lips freeze around the regulator. Your breathing becomes the only sound you hear, in and out.
The water feels warm now, so warm. I could just stay here.
Wait, no, that's the hypothermia talking. Go up! Go up!
Down here, panic is a death sentence. As the cold seeps into your core, your thoughts slow down. Nitrogen builds up in your blood. The cold tricks your mind into feeling warm, sleepy. It's the ocean's gentle way of telling you, you don't belong here. We signal the ascent. Turning our backs on the deep is never easy, but staying too long is a gamble you will eventually lose. As we rise, the light returns. The colors shift back. The pressure lifts. Breaking the surface is a shock. The wind, the noise, the reality of the surface world rushing back in.
Hold the line. Secure him now. Secure him now. Pull him in.
Þrídrangaviti stands as a monument to human engineering, a symbol of our attempt to conquer the elements. But beneath the waves, the ocean tells a different story, one of patience, resilience, and quiet adaptation. We came looking for secrets under the world's loneliest lighthouse, and we found an ecosystem thriving in impossible conditions, and evidence that humans have been drawn to this rock for far longer than anyone knew. Some mysteries don't need to be solved. Some places just need to be witnessed. This is Þrídrangaviti, where the ocean's fury meets ancient stone, where life defies impossible odds, where human ambition left its mark centuries before we thought possible.